They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of this.
And like, you can make fun of literally everything Hold the Truth Hostage does. There's no end to the laughs that we can get out of Hold the Truth Hostage. But do I think he's the devil? Yes. You know what I mean? I definitely don't think he's not the devil.
Hold the truth hostage. So what? So he's going to hell. How long will it before Hold the Truth says hands up, don't shoot? Just saying.
I do honestly think.
Man. Is this you?
Yeah, this is the real me.
Okay, good, man. How you doing?
Hey, good. Yeah, no, I was to see the Black Pill guys as that guy Hold the Truth. I call him, and please don't get offended by this. This is my favorite line from Hold the House Negro, because he's a house Negro on that panel. And I don't care if anyone gets offended, that's what he is. I grew up a white guy growing up in New Zealand, just as it is. You know, the very first thing people will say when they see me jump into this, like onto this stream or whatever, they'll be like, oh, you know, he's alt-right or some sort of underlying racial acrimony, which couldn't be further from the case. And I'm a very liberal guy, very accepting. Yeah, no, I've got a lot of strong words to say about these guys, and I was really happy that you invited me on to chat.
High value Black men. There just isn't a lot.
I grew up a white guy growing up in New Zealand, just as it is. You know, the very first thing people will say when they see me jump into this, like onto this stream or whatever, they'll be like, oh, you know, he's alt-right or some sort of underlying racial acrimony, which couldn't be further from the case. And I'm a very liberal guy, very accepting. I grew up a white guy growing up in New Zealand, just as it is. You know, the very first thing people will say when they see me jump into this, like onto this stream or whatever, they'll be like, oh, you know, he's alt-right or some sort of underlying racial acrimony, which couldn't be further from the case. And I'm a very liberal guy, very accepting.
Black man.
There it is, man. There it is, right off the fucking top, the fucking black card. How long will it before Hold the Truth says hands up, don't shoot? Just saying.
I do honestly think.
Man.
Pill ill, y'all niggas better listen. I'm black 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 pill, I'm ill with this will. 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 I'm black pill, I'm ill with this will.
It's so important, guys. So important. By the way, women are the majority of voters in the United States.
Female content creators help the manosphere be balanced and prevent the formation of cults. She has agreed to an alliance with me and other balanced content creators to call out the bullshit and hypocrisies. I look forward to see the cat.
How long will it before Hold the Truth says hands up, don't shoot? Just saying.
I do honestly think.
Man.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's Hold the Truth Hostage, where the truth was so important we wouldn't negotiate with lies, we would hold the truth hostage. So now a big question, you know, with everything going on, you know, you got the passport bros thing, you got the red pill, you know, you got black pill, you got everything going on with men, you know, men in the country, MGTOW, whatever. So, you know, the big question becomes, you know, what is America now for men? The thing is this, you know, America's a great country for opportunity. Great opportunity for economical success. You know what I'm saying? Economics, you know, amazing. Great opportunities here. You know what I mean? You could buy a pair of pants here for like $5. You know what I mean? $7 if it's not a popular brand, or you can even get popular brands that have gone out of season for low prices, whatever. So what is happening in America right now? You know, why are men flying overseas with the passport bros movement? Why are men doing all this stuff? What is the friction between men and women, and what does it mean to be a man in the U.S. now? Well, what's happened is America now is basically a land completely for financial gain. That's what the country has become. It's a land for absolute financial gain. You see, you're on a treadmill, and that treadmill is to obtain success, be it starting your own business, be it trying to be an entrepreneur, a businessman, career, stock markets, and so on. But the problem now is what's been removed on the treadmill is the option of starting a family as a high reward option and a low risk option. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men would have their families because now you have your children. You have a higher level of trust. You can invest in your children. You can have them eventually help you when you get to old age, you know what I'm saying, without worrying about them taking as much advantage of you as a stranger would. But now that option is of a higher risk with extremely rare reward. It's not even low reward. It's rare because once you have the children, you put something in motion. You put the family court in the corruption that's coming. The daddy government and a mama corporation and Uncle Sam the military. So there's a lot. So like I was saying with American men now. So what's happened is what's been removed off that treadmill now used to be part of it. You know what I'm saying? The treadmill, you know what I'm saying? The path you were on as a man would be you start a family and, keep your legacy here. You know what I'm saying? You become a hometown guy, homegrown, national grown, whatever. But once no-fault divorce was passed, you know what I'm saying, divorces skyrocketed, you know what I mean? Everything, then the family court, you know what I'm saying, a lot has happened. Then you have the Planned Parenthood narrative that's come out, you know what I'm saying, all the aspects that have come. So what's been removed from the treadmill, you know what I'm saying, the treadmill you're on when you're in America is the high reward and low risk of a man starting a family. You know what I'm saying? So now it's become rare reward, high risk. Rare reward, high risk, because a lot of men, even if they're a good father and so on, you know what I'm saying, good father, good husband, if the relationship ends, be it by that man's actions or his woman, there's a high chance that once that relationship ends, that man's seed, his child, will be weaponized against him in the court of law, the family court, which operates completely separate from the court of law. So what's happened in America now is that America's still great, great for making money. More entrepreneurs are popping up, more startup companies, even scientific finds, more things are happening than ever before, towards success. The problem is that domestically now in America, the option of starting a family has been removed from from one of the aspects that will make a man have long-term success. Gone are the days that a man would have a family to build his success, his business, to further expand. Now having a family is nothing but implied risk. For example, let's say this man has a successful marriage, has some children, okay? He's succeeded. Now his son inherits his business. There is no telling, and there's a higher chance that his son will have a relationship that fails. So that means his whole legacy and fortunes are on the line. So like I was saying, so what's happened is even a man's legacy, business, all that stuff is in danger now. It used to be that if a man had a family, had some kids, it'd be a way to expand his legacy. Now it's a risk to lose his legacy. That's why you're going to see a lot more men that become millionaires and become far more successful don't have families, because the risk of, let's say you're a multi-millionaire, billionaire, and you have a son. And that son chooses to have a child by a woman domestically. Now your family fortune is at absolute risk. Now that woman could sue your son for half, or your son gets married, half. So a lot of men are looking at the long-term risk of having children and losing their fortune. That's why you're seeing a rise of millionaires, you know what I'm saying, and billionaires, men that if they're still bachelors saying, hey man, I'm rich, I'm going to give my money away. I'm just going to choose where my money goes. You know what I mean? When I retire, you know, where does it go? Who I give it to? Because a lot of these men are realizing that, yeah, man, if I have a child, it's too risky. You know, all this fortune and all this money, all this success you've built up as an entrepreneur is put on the line because your son or your daughter got into the wrong relationship. You know what I'm saying? The wrong relationship, and all your investments in business, your portfolio is gone. So a lot of men are looking at that and saying, yeah, man, I'm not having no kids here, not domestically. You know what I mean? There's too much risk involved to my fortunes and my legacy. You know what I'm saying? You know, especially if your son or daughter is abusive to their partner and so on. Now it damages your entire brand, your entire business. And then, you know, you got the family court just looking for its share of your fortune. So a lot of men going on in the future realizing that, yeah, man, this America's now land to just make your money, succeed, become an entrepreneur and so on. But family is off the table. You know, the high risk and high, implications of losing your fortune and your success. I mean, just think about it. Your son gets married to the wrong person and your son loses over 50% of your fortune before you've even left this world. Think about it. So, you know, I almost forgot. So the thing is this, man, in America now, I said a lot of men making their money are not even having children, you know, because another aspect to this is that America has basically removed, with the family court and media and, daddy government, mama corporation, and, Uncle Sam, you know what I'm saying? Uncle military, whatever, Uncle Sam. What they've done in removing the option, because here's what the government has done in family court, all that Planned Parenthood and all that. What they've done is they want more money. So what they've done is they've made it hard to impossible for a man to get with a woman or have children sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want men to. The whole goal with no fault divorce, the family court, was to gather more resources. They don't want men to start a family earlier, to have an extended family. For example, let's say a couple falls in love in high school. You know what I'm saying? Falls in love in high school. They have a strong family. And, the girl gets pregnant in high school, whatever, and has a child. And they have a strong family. So their family, they take care of that kid. You know what I'm saying? Their family is unified and they take care of that kid, and she becomes homeschooled so she can raise her kid for the time being if she wants to return back to school. You know what I'm saying? The government doesn't want that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that, because if a woman gets with a man before he has resources, I mean, notice the whole talking points of Kevin Samuels, the whole high value man thing. You know what I'm saying? That whole narrative of that you must bring a lot of money to the table before you can have a family. That whole narrative is implying that you shouldn't have children. You know what I'm saying? If you don't bring six figures to the table. When in reality, nothing's stopping you from starting a family before you even have those six figures. But they've implemented a culture in the country where the man should bring as much resources to the table. So when that relationship deteriorates, the government, the family court have far more to gain than they don't have to gain. Because it used to be normal that, high school sweethearts and so on would have a child or start a family even before they graduated high school. Yeah, so a lot of things that were natural, you know what I'm saying? For example, you have the narrative. I used to believe this narrative, the whole high school pregnancy thing being wrong and all that stuff. I used to buy into it, but then I thought about the logics. I went absolute logistical. That whole narrative was created because I even spoke to a friend of mine in England. He's in England, and he told me they graduate high school at 16. The school system over there is more optimized, So you look at it right here. So he graduated high school at 16 in London, England. You know what I'm saying? So while here we graduate high school at 18. And the thing is, a lot of the educational system isn't designed or optimized for you to get what you need and get the hell out to school. You know what I'm saying? Move on to vocational school or something. You know what I'm saying? Move on to learning how to fix cars, something, some type of vocational, option. Instead schools are prolonged. You know what I mean? They act like you couldn't have learned, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't have learned multiplication sooner. A lot of the education system is all about, you know what I mean? I forget the word. It's all about, re-implementing what you've learned. So, okay, you learned multiplication, let's say in 4th grade. 5th grade now is about, it's about proving you still know it versus, let's move on to the next thing, man. I know 5 times 5 is 25. Let's move on. I want to get the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying? So it's not designed for that. It's not optimized for you to get out sooner. I mean, there's even something where they say, there's a lot of math you learn in school that you will never use outside of it, because a lot of the alternative math has to do with a career. Like, calculus and all these other forms of math they're tied to a career, engineering and so on. So, I mean, if you're not going to be learning to be an engineer, engineer in school, then why are you learning engineer grade mathematics? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it is designed to be filler, to not optimize the education system, to just keep you in there longer and longer so they can implement more propaganda and waste your time. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of schooling is not optimized, A lot of it's not optimized and just designed to keep you there long. But, like I was saying, so now to think of the high school pregnancy thing, a lot of reasons the high school pregnancy thing and the way it's pushed, that is such a negative, is that, you know what I'm saying, I think it's the economics. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to be able to, and I had a buddy of mine told me, they don't want, so I'll remove the day. You got the government, you got political parties that don't want the students to be able to graduate sooner and work. You know what I'm saying? Get into the labor force sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? And start making some money. Even with what they say about the pricing of taking care of a child, you know what I'm saying? They over exaggerate the price of taking care of a child, feeding a child, you know what I'm saying? Because they advertise it based on consumption and consumerism. For example, let's say you have a kid, you know what I'm saying? And you buy that kid some shoes, whatever, and they're not Jordans. They're not the high top brands, you know what I'm saying? And maybe even with the diaper setup, like maybe with diapers, instead of you utilizing diapers, you know what I mean? Maybe you use some type of cloth or some type of cloth base, I don't know, towels or something you wrap the baby up with. So when it takes a dump or whatever, you just throw that away and have some reusable towels or something. You know what I mean? Of course, the child's medical bills, even that, depending on things medically, are kind of altered. You know what I mean? Depending on the health and how you feed the kid. Then the other narrative is, even feeding the kid. I mean, we're in a country that's become so consumer based that, you got women not really wanting to breastfeed their children. You know what I'm saying? So not even wanting to give their children life from their natural body. You know what I'm saying? So just for the sake of vanity, you know what I mean? And that's been pushed. And, they've pushed some of that back. But a lot of what's going on is that, you know what I'm saying, it's against the natural order. So the whole goal, and I'll go further on the next video, is that they want a lot of the men to just bring as much resources and as much money to the table as possible. They don't want the men to start a family sooner, high school or whatever, because that would mean there's less resources for the family court and the government to obtain through that. Even corporations will have less money to make. Now, the big problem that happened with the government and family court, you know what I'm saying, what they call that thing, I forget the word, but that thing that promotes baby deleting, whatever, you know what I'm saying, I forget the word. But what's happened is a lot of men have also been trained. When you tell a lot of young men, you know what I'm saying, let's say the young man found his high school sweetheart or whatever, he wants to start a family with her, you know what I'm saying, and he wants to work and all that, and he has a strong family support system, like an extended family, his grandparents and so on. When you tell men to just, work, get all your money, get all your resources in order. Now, what the system didn't count on, the government and the family court and all this stuff, the media, corporations didn't count on, is that the man bonds so much with his resources and the money he's making, he now looks at the money as an extension of his own, existence. All that hard work, all that labor, you know what I'm saying? And you're trying to tell this man, get all this money together so he can risk it for an emotional experience. You know what I mean? As I've stated, where there's no term relationship, since a man can't really set any terms in the relationship, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of men have become guarded with their resources. More men are making money than ever before, and they're not willing to part with it. They're not willing to part with it due to a relationship, an attempt at a long-term relationship, marriage, because men are looking at all this hard work they've put into getting their money, their resources, and you want them to just risk that. And the thing is, they obtained all their money and resources by being as logically sound as possible. You know what I'm saying? As logically sound as possible, making the right investments and always thinking, prioritizing their thoughts over their emotion. So a lot of men now, due to this level of training, are now invested in maintaining their resources. And they're looking at the risk of losing their resources. That's why you see men traveling overseas now. It's growing, more. There's a plague of men ghosting, and there's a plague of single women, single men, bachelors, bachelorettes, whatever you want to call it, just further increasing because men are not willing to part. A lot of men are basically, like I said, with their resources, even if they reach a high value, a lot of men are basically looking at their resources, the money they've made, as a substitute to having children and to having a long-term relationship with a significant other, a woman, whatever. They're looking at their relationship with their stocks, the money they're making, their resources have become more than just a tool to, maintain and protect the family they would have. Because what's happened is once you tell men, hey, like Kevin Samuels will tell men, become high value. What they don't add up is when you tell a man to become high value, that high value is having their resources and maintaining all their money. It's not having a family, having children, or having a long-term relationship. Is that there's a side effect. The side effect is that now that man's identity, and they've bonded so much with making money, keeping their resources, that the men will not part and will not risk their resources. Because right now, as it stands in America, there's no way a woman or even the media or corporations can sell the value and the logistics of investing in a long-term relationship, having children, having a family. There's no way they can justify it from a logical perspective. Now they can justify a man being in a long-term relationship, trying to have a family from an emotional standpoint of saying, hey, you're going to experience love, and you're going to experience the love of a child, the love of having a family, the love of being able to stand up for them, all that emotional. That's why you see the media and corporations now mostly selling long-term relationships from an emotional lens, because they can't justify it from a logistical standpoint. You can't tell a man logically that having a child will make them more wealthy and ensure that their resources are better, when that man can point out that, but over 98% of the time, the family court will give my children to their mother, whether she's the fit parent or not. So it logistically can't be explained that it's a better option. That's why they're selling emotion as a reason for men to start. And the other reason men are, not willing to part or risk their resources even more is what happened with Conan 19. What happened with Conan 19, with all the quarantines, lockdowns, even if the death rate of Conan 19 was below 1%, is that men got to witness that, dude, the government is willing, the corporations, because, it was all over you couldn't escape it. Everywhere you went, there was a mention about getting your Conan 19 serum. You know what I'm saying? Getting Conan 19 serum. You know what I'm saying? It was on your banking apps. It was everywhere. Television, movies, it was everywhere. And what men saw is that the government and corporations are willing to sacrifice your job, sacrifice your career, your employment, just for the sake of propaganda. And men saw that the pharmaceuticals have far more sway than they've ever thought of. So a lot of men are saying, man, you want me to risk parting with my resources when you're already willing to take away my resources and how I even make money. So a lot of men are further moving away from investing domestically, their resources, parting with it. That's why more men are going overseas, traveling and so on, because a lot of men are saying, man, this country is willing to sacrifice the way I make my living. And you know what I mean? You're willing to sacrifice me on multiple points. You're willing to sacrifice me in the family court. You know what I mean? You're willing to sacrifice me in the court of law. You're willing to sacrifice me from my employment. I'm not investing in anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm not investing in a long-term relationship. I'm not investing in anything I do not have absolute control over. That's why a lot more men, you see this passport bros movement, it's going to keep growing. Men traveling overseas, because what men are looking for is what the men before them had, control of their lives. You know what I'm saying? Some men are just traveling to get away from COVID-19 restrictions. You know what I mean? So a lot of men also being forced to quarantine and not being able to work, watching that they didn't have access to food, lines. A lot of men are seeking absolute control back in their lives because they can't leave it in the hands of the government, the state, and so on, you know. And, you know, this is why I say a lot of men will be, you know, FTG, you know, FTG, full-time ghosting, because a lot of men are realizing that, yeah, man, you know, there's so much risk in investing into your emotions domestically. You know what I'm saying? You know, investing in your hometown because, you know, you want to live in your hometown. You want to stay there. You're a hometown boy. Or you want to stay in your state. When your state at a drop of a dime, as we saw with COVID-19, certain states were just throwing their citizens, you know what I'm saying, away by saying, oh, your employment isn't, you know what I'm saying, I forget the word, it ain't necessity, you know what I'm saying, I forget the word, where they would tell you whether you could work or not. You know, so a lot of men are looking at it and saying, yeah, man, you know, we can only be loyal to opportunities. That's it. All that matters is opportunities. Opportunities to make money. Opportunities to profit. Opportunities to control the rate of risk versus investment. So a lot of men, in living this way, are moving. They're moving overseas. They're moving to other states, or they're just in a constant state of moving. You know what I'm saying? They're prioritizing mobility above all. You know what I mean? So a lot of men are moving around, traveling, and so on. So what's happening is you're going to see this as things progress, because a lot of men have, the state has already told men, TV is telling men every day in a pro-misandrous society that them existing is toxic masculinity, whatever. And men surviving COVID-19 quarantines, men have seen 2+ years of what it means, you know what I'm saying, to be a man when in a pro-misandrous society, in a government that's willing to throw away all the money. You know what I'm saying? A government that is willing to throw away your employment, your career, even though we go to work during flu season. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of men have seen this, and they're no longer investing in the families no more. You know, you're going to see there's already a major decline in childbirth. You know what I'm saying? Childbirth by American men. You know, and it's only going to further decline as men just start living a zero population, zero birth rate lifestyle where men just don't plan or think about it. They're just focused on making their money and increasing it and controlling it until the day they die. You know what I'm saying?
How long will it before Hold the Truth says hands up, don't shoot? Just saying.
Oh, God.
I do honestly think
So important, guys. So important. By the way, women are the majority of voters in the United States. Like
Pill ill, y'all niggas better listen. I'm black 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 pill, I'm ill with this will. 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 They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of display.
Female content creators help the manosphere be balanced and prevent the formation of cults. She has agreed to an alliance with me and other balanced content creators to call out the bullshit and hypocrisies. I look forward to see the cat.
How long will it before Hold the Truth says hands up, don't shoot? Just saying.
Oh, God.
I do honestly think